Welcome along to our big match preview and backed by Ladbrokes for the season. First of all, as always, we'll take a brief look back at the weekend's action. Now with Clive to look back at the weekend and look forward to Chelsea's visit to St Mary's this Saturday lunchtime. Clive, mate, Southampton 2, Arsenal 3 at the Emirates. A very spirited performance at the weekend, but we have seen this a few times this season. You know, spirited performance against some of the top clubs. Although this time we went ahead, we pulled it back as well. And how was the spirit different to what we've seen over some of the performances this season? Is it giving us false hope?
I don't know about false hope. You could look at it two ways, that performance. You could say, well, that was a much, much better performance. That was much more together. There was fight in the team. But Arsenal were there for the taking. They really were there for the taking. We couldn't have played him at a better time. Halfway through a big European tie, we should have got something out of that game, really. And it summed up our season almost. That I could see the effort from the players without a doubt, but we just didn't get anything out. They get nil point, unfortunately. And the games are running out. Six to go, isn't it? 6 to go.
Yeah.
And we've missed a wonderful opportunity there to close the gap. It's still there. It's still in our capabilities to stay up, but we have to do it. I think we have to start with the Chelsea game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Arsenal, as you say, they made a lot of changes, 7 changes, in fact, I think for them. They've obviously got one eye on their second leg in Europa League. But of course, we saw a very different lineup too. I mean, Hughes set up with a 3 at the back strategy, combination of Stevens, Yoshida, Hoot. And then sometimes it was a 5-4-1, backs against the wall in our own half, and we done so well, but ultimately let down by some poor defending once again to let Welbeck in for their third.
Yeah, the third goal was so disappointing, and the fact that once we got to 2-2, you felt that the onus was with Saints and that we could go and win the game, and there was only that really. I think the chance with Charlie, Josh Sims came on, had a shot, but Arsenal missed a couple of sitters there, and oh dear.
Yeah, absolutely. They missed probably the miss of the season with Welbeck of a yard out. Yeah,
and you thought, well, okay, we're going to get a point, and maybe we can sneak something right at the death, because they were positive substitutions with Josh Sims coming on there and Charlie, obviously. Oh dear. So it gets you down, doesn't it? It really gets you down, because you could see the opportunity there, but it didn't happen. But you've got to stay positive, and I think you've got to take the positives out of it. The team were more together. There was more physical fight in the team. Very disappointed with the sending off. There's no point going on about that, because what good's it to be angry at Wiltshire? All that matters is what we're going to do in the next game against Chelsea.
Yeah, and we'll touch upon that right now, actually. I mean, as you say, we didn't come out unscathed. Jack Stevens picked up a red card in the closing minutes. Jack Wilshere literally trying to rip his shirt off his back. He swings for him, he reacts. You know, I watched it in real time thinking, oh no, Jack, what are you doing? You want some more maturity from him. Wilshere is like that, but he now misses his 3 games. He misses the Chelsea game on Saturday. He misses the Leicester game on Thursday. And unfortunately for him, he will miss a semi-final Wembley day.
Yeah, it's sad for Jack Stevens. You felt very hard done by with that decision, because, my goodness, Jack Wilshere's ripped his shirt off. But again, there's no point. What can we do by feeling frustration towards him? All that matters is what we do against Chelsea, that we produce another performance, another battling performance, and hopefully stay in the game for as long as possible. I think the crowd can play their part. I really do. If we get in the game and we stay in the game, I think our home crowd realise this is almost it probably is a last chance opportunity to stay with the pack.
Yeah, absolutely. And we find ourselves 3 points at the start of play. At the weekend, you know, this Saturday lunchtime kickoff, we find ourselves in the bottom 3 still. But we could take some positives from a Chelsea team that hasn't been outstanding this season. And looking at it, seemingly their top 4 hopes is dwindling by every week.
Yeah, I've watched a bit of Chelsea, and you do scratch your head sometimes, a bit like you scratch your head why Saints are in the bottom 3. But you do think they're better than that. They're actually, some of their football's superb, but they're not finishing games off. There doesn't seem to be, I wouldn't say there's disruption in the camp, but I don't think it's the harmony that was there last season when they won the league. So there is a few chinks there, but you've got to eke them out, you know, because you just got to stay in that game, because you know they're going to have a lot of possession. They're going to have a lot of tippy-tappy football around the edge of the box. and you've got to stay strong. That's what Saints have got to do: stay in the game and take it to Chelsea when they have the opportunity.
I mean, obviously Chelsea, they're out of the top four. Looks like they're 10 points from safe. They're 10 points from breaking into top four with 3 points from safety. So I mean, how would you expect us to line up against Chelsea? Obviously, Stevens with suspension, Yoshida Hoot likely to be the centre back partnership. Austin came off the bench, made an instant impact against Arsenal. Shane Long as well. Terrific performance by him, got himself on the score sheet for the second time in about 2 years, but also picked up a little injury and had to come off too.
Yeah, Shane did tremendously well, and I'd expect him to keep his place, obviously injury depending. I would imagine whichever formation it's going to be slightly conservative to start with, possibly with Charlie to come off the bench later. And obviously I was glad to see Josh Sims back in the fold. I think he can make a big impact in game. I would imagine it's going to be a conservative formation to stifle Chelsea, and then as the game wears on, to try and win it in the last half hour.
I expected to set up to go for the break, go for the counter-attack. Josh Sims and Nathan Redmond would be great options on either wing, with Shane Long up top as well. I'm so baffled as to why Dusan Tadic is still retaining his place. He is stealing a starting 11 position every single week.
I know, Freddie, but he can do the things that some of the other players can't do. OK, it's once in a blue moon, but he has that in his locker. But I guess in a battle like this, you do wonder, his form's been so disappointing. I do wonder how he's staying in there with the need for, everyone keeps talking about war, but that's exactly what it is. It's getting down to last chance. So surprising. But he nearly got that equaliser, when he turned and swung and he nearly got that goal. And that was that little bit of class that he's got, and he's got a lot of class. He's got a lot of class, but he just doesn't show it on a consistent level, whether that's because of the players around him or because I'm sure he's trying his hardest. Again, physically, you wonder as well, because I did think for the third goal that he could have, I thought he should have done better defensive wise for the third goal. I thought he could have got to that ball at worst case scenario, put it out for an Arsenal throw. That wouldn't have hurt us. But once the guys got him faced up and the ball goes in the box, we're in danger. And sure enough, we conceded the third. May have been a push on Cedric. I don't know.
And we've got a lot of options in midfield. Obviously, James Ward-Prowse is also to consider. He came back into the starting 11 against Arsenal, and that's exactly what we missed. You could see the quality in the deliveries from the set pieces from Ward-Prowse comparing to, Tadic from the week before. I think Ward-Prowse should also be considered for the starting 11.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. And good to see, Højbjerg was very spirited. He was winning a lot of balls in that middle. And I thought Romeo had a really decent game. So the midfield lads did us proud, to be honest. Tadic, unfortunately, Dusan, just show us what you can do, Dusan, because now's the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are backs against the wall, 3 points from safety. All the fans need to be in coordination as well. But also in other news, mate, Virgin Media have also subsidised away tickets for the final few away games of the season at Swansea and Everton for £10 each, hoping for all the support we can get. And they said they will be doing some games this season, but I'm surprised it's come so late in the season.
Yeah, it does. It does seem rather late. Thank you, Virgin, for eventually waking up, because all you've done this season is put them horrendous clackers on the seats, which have annoyed me no end. I hope. Oh, hang on. Sorry, Freddie. There's a boat in trouble out there. Oh, dear. Oh, no, I think they're all right. Sorry, go on.
Also in other news, mate, Virgin Media have subsidised away tickets for the final few away games of the season away at Swansea and at Everton for £10 each. They said they'd be doing a few games this season, but I'm surprised it's actually come so late in the season. Yeah,
well, thanks for the gesture for the 2 games that they've made the subsidy, but yes, it has come very late in the season. You do wonder about the implications of us dropping down to the Championship, whether Virgin would stay involved with a team at that level. And you do hope that eventually the little clip that they play of the overhead kick might actually go into the opposition's net. That would be nice. It's a gesture. Thank you, Virgin. Thank you not for putting the clackers on the seats earlier this season.
Probably a conversation for another day, though. As you say, Virgin Media, hopefully that they will stay in with us next season, subsidising these last few games. But if we're looking at the Championship next season, it's £40 away. 40 is naughty. 30 is still quite a lot, but 20 is most certainly plenty.
Very good analogy there, Freddie. I'd like to think that the £30 came from a little bit of pressure from fans. I'd like to think that whilst everybody tears each other apart on social media, it's about time all fans got together and started banging on the doors to really get the admission fees down for going to the game, because television is dominating so much. We all moan about the kick-off times. Why should we have to put up with the inflated prices? Why shouldn't fans have much cheaper games to go to? We've talked about Wembley, but that's the tip of the iceberg, really. That's just an insult, the prices for Wembley. But like you say, in the Championship, can be, I'd imagine something like QPR probably would be £40 plus. Ridiculous.
Yep, Leeds United are very expensive too. So, you know, if we are staring down the barrel, we're looking at away games at Leeds, at QPR, at Norwich, at Ipswich. Long ones. Obviously, big game at the weekend, mate. Let's try and wrap it up, though. Early kickoff, lunchtime kickoff. It means you've got to get up an extra couple of hours to get into the pub before the match. But what are you hoping for on Saturday when Chelsea come to St Mary's?
Pub open at 10. That's what I'm hoping for, mate. We've got to do it. We've simply got to win. A draw would be fantastic, but in the real shape of things, a draw's not enough. We have to go and win the game, and unfortunately that's where you hope Saints score first, because I always worry if these teams score first against us, it's an uphill battle, because then they control the game. You're chasing it. So at least if you score, you get them coming out at you, and then they leave gaps. I'm hoping for a 1-0 or 2-1 would be good. It would give everybody a lift before Wembley as well, and put the mentality that we could get to the cup final in people's heads.
Excellent stuff. Well, remember to go ahead and leave your predictions in below for our home visit of Chelsea this weekend. We absolutely need a result. Crystal Palace have to play Brighton and Huddersfield have to play Watford. We need a result to bring us out at least for a few days. Leave us your likes, your comments, and subscribe for more.